Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing a finishing tutorial. Now, there is the new shooting mechanic in FIFA, which is the times finishing, and to be honest, right now it looks like it might be the most overpowered or most effective way to score goals. But for me personally, I feel like there's just too much going on for me to be able to take those kind of shots as of right now. This is just for the demo. My mind might change when the full game comes out. But the way that my shooting mechanics work right now is I turn off timed finishing, okay? I found out a different way to score in FIFA during certain circumstances, certain touches your players make. So I would listen to this, but again, I'm not using timed finishing. I turned it off because a big reason why I turned it off was because I like spamming B to be able to hit a cross or to be able to hit a shot. If I do a pass into the middle and I do a cross body across the body pass, right? I want to be able to just hit it into the back of the net and not have to worry about the fact that I only have to press it once to score. I like spamming it. That's just like a thing that it's a habit that I have, and it still works. So that's why I did turn off time finishing. But right now, you guys are going to see gameplay from the stream, right? This is me playing against the bots. There is a new way, right, that I found out for you to score in FIFA. If you guys play PES and you play it on advanced shooting, there is a mechanic, right, where you see the thumbstick, right, right over here at the bottom. There is a mechanic in PES, right, and I'll show you guys here right now with Aguero once I get the ball with him, right? There is a mechanic in PES and in FIFA where you can do the same exact thing, right? Where if you take a shot, look at how I'm aiming the thumbstick. I aim it to the top left and I do the driven shot. You can see that I'm pressing RB and LB. This is a PlayStation, but the program uses an Xbox controller, so just take that into account. It's RB, LB, and I'm aiming it to the top left to be able to do a driven shot across goal. Now, can you take this shot with the left stick aiming to the right side? You can do that, but I've noticed that when I am not running and I've slowed down and I've taken all the extra touches, I've noticed that when I do the driven shot facing away from the goal, right? When again, you have to take into account the dribbling that your player is doing, the running that your player is doing, the angle that your player is in. It's much more preferable to just hit it this way than to hit it at the target, because I've noticed that the shooting in this game, right, when you don't use timed finishing, is a tiny bit more manual, right? It's not as assisted, right? So if I were to actually aim towards a target a certain way, I actually might not hit the target here because of the way that the finishing works. Now, this is all going to be muscle memory because this is going to drive you guys crazy. So I would practice on the demo a lot to get used to the mechanics, because this shooting away from goal mechanic has been a thing in FIFA for a while now, right? But it's something that I've not found out recently, but I've used more recently because of the new timed finishing, right? And I feel like it's all about different scenarios, right? So in this situation right here, I decide to face to the top left and then do a driven shot so I can score this opportunity like that. And you can see that the shot is really good, right? Let's see a second goal here. Every situation is very different, right? I want to try to get every scenario for you guys. So right here with Aguero, I think we're going to do the same thing. So we're just going to run, right? Get inside the box. And then you can see, right? I've let go of our trigger at that very moment that I want to shoot. But you can see how far he is from the ball, and it's perfect. So right there, I've already let go of our trigger, right? He's going to slow down from this moment here. So being able to aim to the top left, right? And then doing the shot, this is the driven shot, right? That's how you do the driven shot nowadays. You LB, RB, and then you tap B. He takes a banger bottom left. And it doesn't matter what difficulty you try this out on, because I played with someone today. I played 2 games with him, and the finishing was very simple. Again, can you aim it in that direction? You can, but for some reason, and this is for me personally, I don't know if you guys might feel the same way about this. When I am attacking forward and I want to take this shot, this type of shot with this type of angle, it doesn't feel natural to aim it at the net because I feel like I'm not aiming it exactly where I want. But for some reason, when you aim it in the opposite direction, it aims it, or your brain or my brain triggers it perfectly for me to aim the thumbstick perfectly in a 45-degree angle. But for some reason, when I'm attacking and I'm aiming forward, I guess it's the transition of aiming forward with the thumbstick and then pushing it up that is a little bit off for me in certain circumstances, right? You don't always do this shot, but it just works, right? Because you can see right here, once I have the ball, I'm dribbling that area, but being able to transition from the right to the left or the top left just feels like a better transition for me, right? So you can see that I scored this opportunity as well. Let's see at a 3-0. I think it's going to be very similar where it's just going to be like a driven shot. So I'm going to be running, getting into the same position again. As you can see right here, man, look, I let go of our trigger at that very moment. Let go of it, you can see me doing the command already, right? Look at the angle that I'm at, exact same angle as the second shot. Again, the transition between going to the right and going to the top left, for some reason, in certain circumstances, makes the ball aim better, right? If I were to do this shot and I aimed it at the net, I feel like the shot might not be that good. It depends, right? And it's just a natural thing that I felt when I've been playing the game. It's just, you hit the target cleanly, you hit it to the left side, the goalie has no chance. When you do a driven shot, the ball can raise a little bit, but the power of the shot is good. The most important thing about the finishing in FIFA 19 is that you have to hit the ball at like a 2-bar, right? Like, you know how long you hold circle or B when you're playing FIFA normally? You have to hold it to the 2-bar, because if you guys turn on your indicator in the game, you'll notice when you take the shot, it charges up to green. So if you actually take a lighter shot, the shot might not be as accurate, right? So let's just say, for instance, I'm attacking the goalkeeper and I want to do a low finesse shot. It might actually not come off that good, because the way that the mechanics work for the shooting in this game is that it's hard to do it with power. Can you do it? Yes, it's possible, but it's not ideal. It's better to just finesse it normally around the goalkeeper during certain circumstances, right? You can also hit the ball near post nowadays, right? So there's so many different ways to finish, which is amazing because it's not only based off of driven shots. And you'll see the game of me playing against one of my viewers, right? The types of shots that I took against him, right? It's just very effective. Also, if you guys want to skip the celebration right away, LB, RB, RT, LT just skips the entire animation completely, and it's amazing. I love it. I'm going to do that online all the time. So here's a fourth goal, right? Similar situation with De Bruyne. I've gotten into the position, right? I've got into the position, and obviously it's more accurate when you take that, because in the Sergio Aguero instance, I was kind of away from the goal a little bit, right? So those shots are going to be a little bit less consistent. But with De Bruyne right here, you'll see I'll take that little small touch, right? Where it's not completely straight, but it's slightly upwards, and it just allows you to take the shot better. See, I'm aiming it to the top left again. It just makes sense because I'm aiming it across, but if I was transitioning to the right and then I aimed it slightly upwards in this situation, I feel like I might not have been able to score this, right? So I aim it to the top left away from the goal, right? So that I can aim it to the top right. If I want to aim it to the bottom, right? Instead of aiming it to the, like, let's just say in this situation, I want to go near post. It wouldn't make sense for you to go near post in this situation, but we're just saying it as an example. If I want to go near post in this situation and the target is to the bottom, instead of aiming it to the bottom right, you would aim it to the bottom left, right? Depending on the situation. You don't always do that, right? Yeah, so this finishing just works out the most for me. It's the one thing that I've noticed in this game that's really effective. Taking that little touch and then doing the driven shot across goal is very effective, and I highly recommend you guys trying it out. I'm gonna go show you guys a game of me playing against a viewer and the types of goals that I scored against him. So just very generic stuff. I've turned off timed finishing at this point. So right here, this is me playing on a more difficult difficulty, just to try to really get those attacking plays on. I think this is with Juventus, so it's gonna be like around here, right? So you'll notice, right? Look at the angles of Quadrado when he takes this shot, right? So when I get into this position right here, this is a higher difficulty. When I get into this position, I give the ball off to Ronaldo, and then I do a wide pass, and right off the bat, so I'm transitioning to the right, but look at how fast I transition to the top left. I change the controls. I'm aiming to the top left, LBRB, the angle is perfect because the way that the ball is approaching me, I can just shoot this across goal right away. Don't waste time. Don't risk the finesse shot with his left foot, because if you finesse shot this with his left foot, it actually might not come off nicely. It actually, believe it or not, kind of makes sense for you to finesse it with his right foot to the left side because of the way that the goalkeepers dive. You'll notice it, right? That sometimes the goalies will dive to the right side with their legs to the left side, right? So with this one, I just did a first time shot, aimed it to the top left, LBRB for the driven shot, and it went into the back of the net, right? I'm going to see if I can get some other situations for you. That's me listening to the new Eminem diss track to MGK, and it was amazing. These ones are just the bots. Oh, check out the bots, the way that the bots score. This is something I'm definitely going to adjust to too. The first touch control shot right away is very effective in this game. It's the one that De Bruyne actually scores on his second goal, I believe. So it's going to be around this area right here. Right around here. You're going to see the way that he touches. So I lose possession of the ball, but just look at the way that De Bruyne takes his shot, because he does that mechanic where he flicks the ball upwards. So I lose possession right about here, but his first touch was a flick up. So he flicks it up downwards, and the way you do that, right, is he flicks it up with the right stick, right? He flicks it up with the right stick, just clicking it down to the bottom, and he flicks it up, and right away De Bruyne can shoot while the ball is midair and shoot an absolute banger into the back of the net. So that's also going to be something that's going to be really interesting to try out when the full game comes out. There's going to be a lot of different things to try out with the new skill moves and all that, because the first touches are also very different too. New skill moves and all that is going to be very interesting. So right now, I'm trying to see if I can find a game for you guys where I played against my opponent. I actually do want to show more bot ones, because these are the ones where it's not beginner difficulty. And I just want to show the way that I finished in these certain circumstances. So right here, once I give the ball off here and I lay it off, with Gareth Bale, you see right here, I don't need to shoot this across the goal, right? So, because check out my angle. My first touch was facing downwards. Nowadays, chat, you can actually hit this near post. So for me, it would be uncomfortable for me to aim this to the... I'm such a weird person when it comes to the finishing, but I'm telling you guys, it works, dude. If I were to aim this to the bottom left, it wouldn't feel natural in this situation, because my first touch, I'm already aiming it in that direction. So it just makes sense to keep it in that direction, right? And then after that, I just do a regular finesse shot, and he does an outside the foot finesse shot near post. You can actually score those now, which is awesome. So the weak foot isn't a huge problem. It's still a relevant thing for sure, but it's not a huge problem. So more players will definitely be usable. I've taken some good shots with Dybal's right foot. I've taken some bad shots with his right foot. A lot of players just seem a little bit more usable now, right? I'm going to see a different situation here. It might be right around this part right here. This part right here. So we got Gareth Bale, get the ball with Casemiro, back to Gareth Bale, lay it off, and then right here, look at how I'm aiming it, right? I could aim this downwards. It's just, it's so hard to explain, guys. It's really, if you play the game yourself, it just feels natural. It's weird because your brain, like, it's okay. So you take the touch downwards, and you want to aim it to the bottom right. But for some reason, my brain registers I really want this shot to be a 45-degree angle. So I aim it away from the goal and do a regular B shot. And then bam, right into the back of the net. I don't know, it's very hard to explain. Times finishing has changed the finishing in this game, and you really need to feel it out when you're playing the game. So I'll show you guys some examples of the player that I played, and he's a very good player, Maestri. His finishing isn't there yet, but it's the beginning of the game. You got to learn the game mechanics and all that, because his passing plays are actually very nice, right? So let's see the first goal that we score. First goal that we score is very normal, and in this situation right here, I hold B just one time, and it worked out really nicely, right? So I get the ball here with Ronaldo, and Ronaldo is obviously a player that's you have to use people to their characteristics, right? Crosses are very good in this game again, so someone like Ronaldo will be able to win the ball in the air, especially against, I believe this might be Savage here, right? So with Ronaldo, I get the ball, I lay it off to Douglas Costa. With Douglas Costa, I'm using L trigger, right? I'm shielding the ball away from the opposition. So you guys know from last year, when you shield the ball, it will touch the ball in a direction, the person will always be behind you. So when I shield, he overcommits with that player. I take a small touch upwards, create a little bit of space for myself. Ronaldo is running in. The center back that's over here, which might be Jimenez actually. If it's Godin, I actually might be able to get that. He might actually be able to get this. But against Jimenez, I just cross the ball, little dink, right? Good enough power to just do a regular B shot right across the net. So Ronaldo's obviously going to be amazing in this game. So I only scored 1 goal in this game. Again, it's a very tight game. We do share play, right? So the way that it works on PlayStation 4 is you just share play with someone. You're allowed to play online, right? And in the second game, I'll remember exactly how I take the shots. So again, with this Sterling situation, if I can even get to it, which I might have lost already. I kind of already lost it. It might be over here actually. This Sterling situation when I take the long shot, or it might be Mahrez, one or the other. This one, Fernandinho, is it? I don't know. It's so hard to explain the finishing, man. But I'm telling you guys, the aiming away from goal, like if you're gonna aim it this way in certain situations. That's what I'm trying to explain. It's really, really difficult, but it works out really nicely, right? So my first goal in this game was a really, really good build-up play, right? Got him on the counter-attack because he overcommitted a few players. Dynamic tactics is going to be everything in this game. So it's like right around here. So there's a mechanic in this game that's a little bit off, right, in terms of the finishing. And I'll tell you guys exactly how I finish in every situation, right? So I think it's once I get the ball over here, around this area right here. So I'm going to get the ball here with De Bruyne. Again, always cover that middle, right? Covering the middle at all times. I realize that De Bruyne is not really a defensive player, so I switched to Fernandinho to cover the top because, you know, if Lewandowski gets this ball and he goes upwards, he's going to have so much space to work with. Now, look at the way that the attack works, right? So he has the 2 center backs, but his fullbacks are unbalanced. So they're not stay back while attacking. So that's when I was able to utilize this space, right? So once I pass this ball, I have all this space to work with now. I do a bunch of like 1-2 plays. I hold the ball with Aguero. Right here, I do a heel-to-heel, which is still very effective in this game. Heel-to-heel, but this is a nice skill move combo right here, right? The ball roll, drag back, right? Left this guy for dead. I have all this space to work with, and the plays that your players make on a 4-2-3-1, I have a wide attacking, right? Dynamic tactics is going to be so much fun, guys. I love it. Over here in this situation, I pass the ball upwards. I do the ball roll, right, to waste the time a little bit because I notice at the top that the opposition or that my players is making that really good attacking run. It's really hard to get this because it's a lot of time, right? So right here, this isn't good enough because of Boateng, right? If I pass this ball right away, I don't know if I'm going to have a good opening. So when I do the ball roll, right, he commits downwards. When he commits downwards, it gives me that extra space to basically pass it to this area right here. So I lay the ball off over there. I do a first-time wide pass. Now, this is the mechanic that screwed me up a little bit, okay? In this situation right here, the most preferable thing to do is to take a touch in a 90-degree angle and then shoot it across goal. In this situation right here, it would have made sense to just do a regular shot, right? But in this situation, my player lets the ball go, which was a problem, but it positioned the goalkeeper in a different way. I put a good amount of power into the shot, which is 2 bars, 2.5 bars, and then I aim it, boom. Top right corner, top shelf actually of the net, so it was beautiful. This Sane one, though, that I scored, chat, was different because the Sane one, this is one that I aimed away from the target, and you'll notice why. It just felt natural to do this. So you'll see from this attacking play right here, again, this is me playing against an online opposition, right? Once I get the ball around this area right here, so look at the way that I'm defending, right? I used De Bruyne, I covered this space because my defending is wide because I noticed that that's what he was trying to exploit. So I had to cover this ground right here. Players are going to track other players, so I have to cover this ground so that he doesn't utilize this space, right? So I keep covering that ground. He wants to make that pass, but look, he's overcommitting on the attack now because he's losing, right? So I get the ball, wide pass, a first-time pass to the top, but I have to do an LBA because I want my players to push up aggressively, right? I do a ball roll, waste the time a little bit, see where my players are going to be making the runs. Another ball roll to waste the time a little bit more and get the better angle. Because in this situation right here, I'm using Mahrez. So because I know his characteristic is that he's a better player on his left foot, I do the ball roll to put the ball on his left foot, right? I do the lob pass. Nice little touch from Sane, but look at how he touched the ball. He touched it upwards, right? He didn't touch it at a 90-degree angle. He touched it upwards. So in this situation right here, if you did a driven shot, it would have worked. You could have scored a driven shot from this too. But in this situation, when the goalie was pushing up, it just felt natural to me to just aim it that way. The controllers are on the screen now because I turned it off because it's a little bit annoying sometimes when I stream. I aim it in that direction over there, top right, a regular B shot, 2 bars, perfect goal into the back of the net. So it's cool, man. There's a lot of varieties and ways to score in this game now, which is so interesting. And there's going to be a lot of different attacking and defensive aspects. So this game is going to be really interesting when it comes out. I'm going to definitely experiment with a lot of different formations because, to be honest, I don't have a set formation. This game is basically a chess game now. Like a 4-2-3-1 isn't going to be great for the entire game because if you notice that your opponent is utilizing the middle of the pitch and you need to also counter him in the middle of the pitch or whatever, you have to figure out what tactics works best for all 4 of them because they're going to be really, really vital for you to win games. But that's the finishing tutorial, guys. You can finish those moments aiming towards a target, but it's just this natural feel you have towards the game as you're playing it. But that is going to conclude the video for today, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you guys did, please drop a thumbs up on it. Definitely helps out the channel a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.